Wow. Where do we begin?
Spanish for 4 years.
I take Russian at JMU. I took Spanish in high school.
Spanish for 4 years.
I am teaching the lower level and intermediate level German classes, the language classes.
I teach German, grades 9 through 12. So this year I teach German 1, German 3, 4, and AP German.
I'm the coordinator of the minor in medical Spanish, and so I teach advanced Spanish classes for the minor in medical Spanish.
The skills that you learn in a language class are perhaps a little bit different than the skills that you would use in some of the other classes. Memorization comes to mind right off the bat. There are certain verbs, expressions, and things that have to be simply memorized. And that's just another way that your brain is working. And so I think that will help in any other kind of class.
I've used the skills I've learned from learning Spanish to help me study from other classes, to help me memorize, how to memorize different Spanish terms, and that helps me memorize things in other classes.
I feel like it can be useful in jobs, like later on, like government jobs. I know CIA, NSA, State Department, they're all looking for people who can speak like Chinese, Arabic, Russian. So I thought Russian is one of those big three. Why not learn that if I'm going to learn one?
I use the skill of memorization in my Spanish class and other classes so I could memorize material.
I think first and foremost, to me, what I find most moving, why I enjoy teaching German, is kind of the kids can step outside of their own kind of cultural perspective and appreciate another culture.
Also, kind of stretching yourself out and opening yourself up, opening up your mind to a different culture, a different way of expressing yourself. I think those are some other things that students learn when they're in one of my classes.
I really developed my my communication skills, and learning how to adapt to different situations through speaking Spanish.
I do think learning a foreign language can help you do better in your other classes. I think it trains different parts of your brain that might not be used necessarily. Like when you're put in a situation where you know nothing, like a new grammatical concept or a new set of vocabulary words, your brain is kind of like trying to grab onto something it can get to make sense of things. And when you're in that area, you tend to panic a little bit and like, oh no, am I going to get this? Am I ever going to learn this? And you learn over time, you can learn anything with enough practice and time. So that really helps you deal with the kind of anxiety or stress that can come with other classes that are hard material that you might not be able to learn very easily. So I think it helps in that way.
Many times I have students for 4 semesters, at least 2, many times 4 semesters. And by the time we get to the 3rd semester, I usually see improvements in those students that I've had previous 2 semesters. So yeah, I think so. I think there is an improvement.
I've been doing this as my 12th year of teaching, and I've found that there's a different receptivity, that we're all, and us adults included, we're learning differently now, and there's no point in lamenting about, oh, I used to cover this material, I used to just do grammar, months at a time. We have to adapt, and we have to make it meaningful, and especially in this time where language programs are being cut, or people feel like, oh, I could just, when I'm abroad, I can just, use Google to speak, and, yes, these programs are becoming extraordinarily good, but by the same token, no, you can't. That you're not getting all the benefits that I was just talking about. That you really, it's a very surface level learning at the end of the day when you're just plugging in English and it's spitting out words to you that don't really have any deeper meaning to you. So, yeah.
It's not just learning the terminology and being able to communicate with other people, but it's also a way to understand a different perspective, a different culture, and just learning how people in other parts of the world think, and